Welcome to the Deep Dive. Today we're unlocking the secrets to one of the most exciting yet, let's be honest, often overwhelming journeys you can take, transforming your living space. If you've ever dreamt of giving your condo a complete makeover, or maybe just a fresh update, well, this deep dive is your definitive guide. We're really unraveling the intricate world of condo renovations, specifically here in the Philippines.
Exactly. Our mission today is basically to equip you with the essential knowledge you need to navigate this whole process with confidence. We're going to try and demystify everything from the initial planning, understanding the real costs involved, to cutting through all that red tape, the regulations, and even exploring some of the exciting new trends that are shaping urban living right now. The goal is really to turn any potential overwhelm you might feel into clear, actionable insights.
And we've cast a pretty wide net for our sources this time. We've pulled insights from detailed renovation guides, architectural wisdom, real-world cost discussions from online forums where people share their actual experiences.
Yeah, those are invaluable.
Totally. And even some in-depth legal analyses. So It's a truly multifaceted view, making sure you get the full picture and hopefully avoid some common pitfalls.
Yeah.
Okay, let's unpack this then. When that spark of an idea for a condo makeover hits, where do you even begin? Because it's definitely not as simple as just grabbing a sledgehammer.
You're absolutely right. That first step is often the most critical one. Before you even think about design plans or budget talks, you absolutely must understand your specific condominium's renovation rules and guidelines. Think of these as the building's constitution, really, for harmonious living.
Okay.
They cover everything. Permissible construction hours, obviously. No hammering at 2 a.m.
Right.
Noise restrictions, limitations on certain types of renovations you can even do.
So it's not just about what you want inside your four walls. It's about how it fits with everyone else.
Precisely. You'll often find strict architectural guidelines, for instance. These dictate the look of the building's exterior and the common areas. And sometimes these rules extend into individual units to maintain, a certain uniformity. Then there are the practical things. Rules about using designated service entrances for materials, scheduling restrictions to minimize disruption for neighbors, and even requirements for your contractors to have specific insurance.
Wow, okay. Lots to check off first.
The key takeaway here is this. Get a copy of the official guidelines. Talk to the condo association or management if anything's unclear. And always, always seek official approval before you start anything. Seriously, this one step can save you so many headaches and potential fines later.
That makes total sense. Get the ground rules first. So once you've got those rules clear, I guess you need to figure out the scale of your dream right. Are we talking a simple refresh or like a full gut job? This brings us to minor versus major renovations.
Exactly. It's a crucial distinction. A minor renovation usually means surface-level cosmetic changes. Think repainting, maybe upgrading light fixtures, replacing kitchen cabinet doors, swapping out the flooring, that kind of thing. These are generally more cost-effective options for a quick transformation. They don't involve big structural modifications. Ideal if you just want a fresh look without messing with the basic layout.
Okay, straightforward enough. And a major renovation. That sounds, major.
It is. Major renovations mean comprehensive changes. This could involve structural alterations, like maybe moving a non-load-bearing wall to open up a space, reconfiguring entire rooms, or sometimes even combining multiple condo units, if that's allowed. These projects definitely demand a much larger budget, a longer timeline, and way more careful planning because they're just more complex. Plus, you'll need engineering input. Knowing which category your project fits into is really vital for setting realistic expectations and prepping for the approvals you'll need.
Right. And once you sort of sized up the project, then comes the fun part. Crafting that personalized design plan, making the condo truly yours.
Absolutely. This is where your personality comes in. You should start by assessing your own style. Are you minimalist? Modern? More classic and cozy? Think about the colors, the textures, the overall vibe you want to create. But, and this is important, don't forget practicality. How do you actually use the space day to day? What elements are most important for your lifestyle?
Good point. Aesthetics meet function.
Exactly. And this is where collaborating with design professionals like interior designers or maybe even an architect, depending on the scope, becomes so valuable. They can help translate your ideas, maybe those vague concepts you have, into a solid plan. They offer expert advice on optimizing the layout, choosing the right materials, and really integrating design elements that work with your life and, crucially, your budget.
Okay, speaking of budget, here's where it gets really interesting for a lot of people. The money talk. Budgeting and cost management seem like they could make or break a project.
Oh, absolutely pivotal. And honestly, often the source of the biggest renovation surprises. You really need to establish a comprehensive budget right at the start. Factor in everything: materials, labor, and crucially, those almost inevitable unexpected costs. Contingencies are not optional.
Right, the just-in-case fund.
Exactly, especially with material costs in the Philippines right now, which, as some sources point out, can swing wildly. Some things have even doubled recently. So that contingency fund, think at least 15%, maybe even 20% of your total estimated cost. It's your financial safety net.
So it's not really if something unexpected happens, but more like when. Having that buffer is essential.
Precisely. And diligently monitoring your spending as you go, being ready to make adjustments, that's key. Regular, transparent communication with your contractor or designer about the budget status, absolutely paramount. It helps prevent those nasty financial shocks at the end.
Makes sense. After the money plan, it's about the time plan. Setting a realistic timeline seems just as crucial, and probably tied closely to the costs, too.
It certainly is. Evaluating the project scope carefully, breaking the renovation down into clear phases, estimating the time for each task, that's the process. You also need to build in some buffer time for potential challenges, maybe discovering hidden structural issues or delays in getting permits. Collaborating closely with reliable contractors and design pros to set up a detailed schedule is incredibly important. This schedule acts like a roadmap. It helps manage everyone's expectations, coordinates all the different tasks, and hopefully prevents unnecessary delays. A good timeline also helps with budget management and allows for proactive problem solving. Because, let's face it, the longer a project drags on, the more it can cost, especially in labor or maybe even temporary rent if you've moved out.
Then comes the really exciting part, I guess. Demolition and construction, where you finally start seeing the vision take physical shape.
Yes, this is when it truly starts to materialize. The demolition phase needs to be managed efficiently, minimizing disruptions and keeping everything on schedule. And for any structural changes like moving walls, we talk about working closely with licensed contractors and engineers is absolutely non-negotiable. Safety standards, building codes, they have to be followed to the letter. Regular site visits yourself and getting consistent updates from your contractor are also vital just to stay informed and make sure things are progressing as planned.
And for those really big jobs, sometimes living through the chaos isn't practical, is it? Temporary relocation might be necessary.
It really can be. For major overhauls, especially with extensive structural changes, thinking about temporary relocation is often a smart move. It ensures your safety, your comfort. And honestly, it lets the contractors work much more efficiently without constant interruptions. Just make sure you plan those alternative accommodations well in advance before the renovation kicks off to make it a smooth transition.
Okay, fast forward. You're almost there. The final touches in the inspection phase. This must be where the space really gets its personality.
It is. This is where the design vision truly comes alive. You're adding decorative elements, infusing your unique style. But equally important is the quality assurance aspect. Rigorous checks and thorough inspections. Professionals should conduct detailed examinations looking for any discrepancies, ensuring electrical and plumbing systems are working perfectly and safely, checking that all safety measures are correctly implemented. This final inspection is absolutely vital for the long-term durability, the functionality, and ultimately your peace of mind in your beautiful, newly renovated space. Don't rush or skip this.
And the journey doesn't quite end when the last bit of dust settles, does it? There's still post-renovation maintenance to think about.
That's right. This is a crucial stage, often overlooked, but it's about preserving your investment, keeping it in pristine condition. We recommend implementing a tailored maintenance routine, regular cleaning, upkeep of surfaces, fixtures, appliances. And scheduling periodic inspections, maybe annually, can catch minor issues before they escalate into major expensive problems. It really saves time and money down the road. Think of it like preventative care for your home.
Okay, let's shift gears a bit from the practical steps. Let's dive deeper into that maze of rules and regulations we mentioned earlier. What does all this mean for actually getting started, especially with all the permits and the legal frameworks involved?
Right. It means understanding the legal backbone of condo living. Condo associations, they operate under specific rules, often called strata bylaws. These aren't just suggestions. They're designed for harmonious living. They cover those permissible construction hours, noise levels, specific limits on what types of renovations are even allowed. And often there are those architectural guidelines we touched on, maintaining the building's look. Sometimes they even dictate things inside your unit. These bylaws ensure every owner knows the boundaries, what you can and can't renovate, preserving privacy and preventing issues between neighbors. So the fundamental point remains: get the guidelines, get clarification, and get official approval before you start. Compliance is your best friend here.
It's not just the condo association rules, right? There's a whole layer of official paperwork involved before any work actually begins.
Absolutely. Before a single tool is lifted, you need to secure permits from the condo administration itself. This usually means submitting complete design plans, and importantly, these often need to be signed and sealed by a licensed architect. Beyond that, you'll likely need permits for your chosen contractor, maybe even for individual carpenters or plumbers, plus permits for delivering materials. And remember, work can generally only happen on specific days and during specific hours set by the building management. Owners might also need to cover costs like worker insurance and sometimes expect a small temporary increase in association's dues to cover things like extra waste disposal or utility use during the build.
Wow. It really sounds like there are significant legal frameworks underpinning all of this, designed to protect both you and the building itself.
There certainly are. You've got key laws like the Civil Code of the Philippines, specifically Republic Act No. 386. This basically governs contracts and obligations. For renovations, it includes clauses on contracts for a piece of work, which detail the contractor's liability for defects. Then there's contractor licensing. This is under Republic Act No. 4566 and managed by the PCAB, the Philippine Contractors Accreditation Board. And honestly, the single most overlooked step by homeowners, verifying their contractor actually has a valid PCAB license.
Why is that so important?
Because engaging a licensed contractor offers significant legal protection and recourse if things go wrong. If you hire someone unlicensed, your ability to claim for defects, especially hidden ones later on, is much weaker. That simple check protects your investment hugely.
That's a really critical insight. A quick check saves a potential massive headache. What other legal codes are relevant?
Well, there's the National Building Code of the Philippines. That's Presidential Decree No. 1096. Think of this as the main rulebook for safe construction nationwide. It sets minimum standards for everything: materials, structural integrity, fire safety, ensures your renovation is built properly and is safe. And then you have local government permits and regulations, things like building permits and occupancy permits from your city or municipality. These are usually required for significant renovations and ensure your project meets local zoning and safety rules.
Okay, so when you hire a contractor, what's the actual legal relationship there? Is it like having an employee?
No, generally not. It's typically classified as an independent contractor relationship, not employer-employee. And that distinction matters. It affects things like liability, how taxes are handled, and other labor concerns. For you, the homeowner, it generally means you aren't responsible for their income tax withholding, SSS contributions, or managing their day-to-day work like you would an employee. But given how detailed renovation projects are, getting everything down in a written contract is absolutely crucial. It lays out expectations, scope, payment, everything. It's your protection against misunderstandings.
That naturally leads to the next question. What happens when things don't go according to plan? What are the common disputes, and how can people protect themselves?
Yeah, unfortunately, disputes can happen. They often fall into two main buckets: payment issues and performance issues. On the payment side, you might see disputes over non-payment or delayed payment by the owner, or maybe claims of overcharging or cost overruns by the contractor. This really highlights why having clear contract clauses about how variations or change orders are handled is so important. And disputes can also arise over something called retainage or retention money.
Retainage? What's that exactly?
It's a percentage of the total contract price, usually around 10%, that the owner holds back until the very end of the project, or sometimes even for a warranty period afterwards, like 3 or 6 months. It acts as an incentive for the contractor to complete all the work satisfactorily, including fixing any minor defects found during the final inspection. It's a good protection mechanism for the owner.
Okay, got it. And performance disputes?
Performance issues could be things like significant delays in finishing the project, poor workmanship, or the contractor using substandard materials which falls under their liability. In worst-case scenarios, you might even face abandonment of the work entirely. Or sometimes the finished work deviates significantly from the agreed-upon plans and specifications.
So prevention is key.
Yeah.
How do you minimize the risk of these problems happening?
The best defense is definitely solid preparation and ongoing diligence. Start with drafting a very detailed written contract. Scope, materials, specifications, payment schedule, spell it all out clearly. Monitor the progress regularly. Keep good documentation, including photos and notes. Insist on written change orders for any deviation from the original plan, no matter how small. Align payment milestones with actual, verifiable progress made on site. Don't pay large sums up front. Setting aside that retention money is a practical safeguard. Ensure all the necessary permits are in place before work starts, and conduct thorough due diligence on your contractor before hiring them. Check that PCAB license, ask for references, and actually call them. Maybe even check their financial stability if possible. And remember what the sources suggested. An expensive architect plus contractor combo doesn't automatically guarantee the best quality. Background checks are vital for everyone.
That makes sense.
All right.
Anything else?
Considering professional supervision, perhaps by your architect or an independent engineer, can also be very helpful. They can monitor the work to ensure it strictly adheres to the plans and quality standards. And it's good to know that under Philippine law, contractors can be held liable for hidden or latent defects, with a liability period that can extend up to 15 years for major structural problems. That gives you some long-term recourse.
All right, let's talk brass tacks finally. What's the actual damage to your wallet when renovating a condo in the Philippines? This is the question everyone wants answered.
Okay, the costs. Look, condo renovation costs can vary. Really vary, depending heavily on the scale, the location, and especially the quality of finishes you choose. As a very rough guide, sources suggest the average cost for a general house renovation in the Philippines might range from maybe VHP 6,000 up to HP 30,000 per square meter. For simpler interior renovations, more cosmetic stuff, you might be looking at VHP 7,500 to VHP 12,500 per square meter. In some areas, like Region IVA, the average for more involved projects or extensions could hit around VHP 25,000 per square meter. And if you're going for high-end finishes, extensive customization,
Yeah,
you could easily be looking at VHP 50,000, VHP 60,000 per square meter, or potentially even higher.
you may break that down a bit. Give us some specific cost examples for common renovation areas people focus on.
Sure. Let's take demolition, including hauling away the debris. That might cost around VHP 10,000 to VHP 15,000, depending on the scope. Tile work, depending on the area's size and the type of tiles you choose, maybe around VHP 20,000, give or take. For a basic living room setup essentials like a TV, sofa, a small table, a rug, maybe an AC unit or fan, you might budget around VHP 45,000 perhaps.
And I keep hearing the kitchen is often the biggest single expense. Is that generally accurate?
Yes.
It often is, yes. Mainly because of the specialized work involved plumbing, electrical cabinetry, and the cost of materials and appliances. A modular kitchen closet setup with a granite countertop, for instance, could start around VHP 10,000 but can go much higher. Then add a stove, sink, faucet, maybe another VHP 5,000 or more. Flooring tiles alone can be VHP 200 to VHP 500 per piece, sometimes more for premium ones. For bedrooms, a decent mattress might range from VHP 4,000 to VHP 15,000. Curtains, maybe VHP 2,000. Other fixtures and furniture could easily add VHP 20,000 or more. If you dream of a custom walk-in closet, that could be around VHP 35,000 or so. Bathrooms are another area where costs vary wildly based on your design choices, the fixtures, tiles, and how much plumbing work is needed.
We even saw some really compelling real-world examples from that Reddit forum discussion. Really puts numbers into context. Like one person shared that renovating a 28 square meter bare unit interior only, including repainting, some waterproofing cost them around VHP 400,000.
Yep.
That included tile, ceiling, electrical, new door, a bedroom partition, bed frame, lights, and various cabinets. And it took about a month.
Right, and for that same 28 square meter place, just adding a kitchen extension and a gate was quoted at VHP 200,000 to VHP 250,000, but they expected it might actually reach VHP 300,000. Another user mentioned their 40 square meter bare unit renovation hit over VHP of 400,000 without appliances or furniture. Later, they clarified it was actually over VHP 500,000, including a gate, but still excluding the kitchen fit-out.
And then there was that one really extensive 56 square meter condo renovation that reached VHP 2.6 million, apparently due to heavy customization and specific material preferences. And incredibly, that huge figure didn't even include the furniture and appliances. These stories aren't just numbers. They really teach us about the key cost drivers.
They absolutely do. These examples highlight just how much impact your specific choices have. So the key cost drivers remain. The scale of the renovation, minor versus major, the complexity of the design you want, the specific material finishes you choose, imported marble versus local ceramic tiles, for example, and the quality level of appliances, furniture, and decorations. And crucially, as mentioned, material costs are high right now in the Philippines. Some items might have doubled in recent years, so factor that inflation into your budget. It's critical. The overall scope of work, are you adding fences, custom joinery, extensions? That all adds up. And of course, professional fees for designers, architects, engineers.
And the contractor you choose. That can significantly swing the total cost too, right?
Absolutely. Contractor selection is a major factor. That's why getting quotes from several different contractors canvassing is so important. And thoroughly checking their backgrounds, their previous work, client feedback, it's essential. As we discussed earlier regarding legal issues, remember that paying for an expensive architect plus contractor doesn't automatically guarantee the best result. Due diligence on their actual track record is key. Location can also play a role in costs, and the timeline a rush project might incur overtime costs, while a very long one accumulates more labor charges.
So wrapping up the cost discussion, what are the best practical strategies for managing this financial roadmap and trying to keep your budget on track?
It really circles back to the planning. Plan thoroughly. Establish that comprehensive, realistic budget right from day one. Collaborate closely with your design professionals. They can help align your vision with what's financially feasible. Monitor your spending diligently throughout the project. Maintain that open, transparent communication with your contractor or designer about costs. No surprises. And, I can't stress this enough, have that contingency fund set aside for the unexpected. It's your financial safety net. Don't forget to get multiple quotes from contractors to compare, and look for practical cost-saving measures where possible, maybe reusing some existing furniture that's still in good condition, or choosing slightly different materials that give a similar look for less cost. You know, what's really fascinating, shifting gears a bit, is how condominiums themselves are evolving. They're really adapting to meet modern urban living demands, reshaping the whole lifestyle. It's not just about having a roof over your head anymore. It's about a complete living experience that's tailored to how people actually live today.
And technology seems like a massive part of that evolution, doesn't it? Smart home tech is everywhere now, or it feels like it.
It really is. Modern condos are increasingly integrating smart home technologies, stuff you can manage remotely from your phone or tablet. Think personalized voice assistants, hey Google, dim the lights, or playing your shows as you walk in. Smart washing machines that ping your phone when done. Light automation, smart thermostats for climate control. These are becoming more common. These aren't just cool gadgets. They genuinely curate experiences and make daily routines easier, which fits perfectly with busy, dynamic lifestyles. So if you're renovating, maybe consider incorporating smart lighting or even just the wiring for a central control hub. It adds long-term convenience and potentially energy savings, too.
And beyond the gadgets, there seems to be a much stronger focus now on well-being and lifestyle amenities within the condo complex itself. People want more than just a place to sleep.
That's absolutely right. There's a definite trend towards condominiums offering what you might call resort-style experiences, right where you live. We're seeing more emphasis on wellness amenities, state-of-the-art gyms, dedicated jogging paths, often multiple swimming pools, spacious clubhouses for gatherings, safe playgrounds for kids. These are all designed to support active, healthy lifestyles without you even needing to leave the building complex. And things like rooftop decks or sky gardens with lush greenery and great views. Hugely appealing. Perfect for relaxing, watching the sunset, maybe even stargazing. If your building offers these, think about how your own unit's renovation design could maybe complement or flow into these shared spaces, perhaps creating more of an indoor-outdoor feel if you have a balcony.
That makes sense.
Yeah.
And with remote work still being so prevalent, or at least hybrid models, how are condos adapting to that huge shift in work culture?
They're definitely adapting. Condos are responding to the rise of remote work by offering more flexible home office setups within the units themselves, maybe dedicated nooks or convertible spaces. But also, many are providing communal co-working areas right in the building. You might find features like reliable high-speed internet, maybe accessible printers or scanners, sometimes even private meeting rooms or quiet study lounges you can book. This really helps residents boost their productivity while maintaining a better work-life balance, letting them separate work from home even when they're technically at home. So when you renovate, maybe think about creating a dedicated workspace, even if it's small, or using flexible furniture that can serve multiple purposes.
And finally, what about sustainability? That's such a huge buzzword everywhere. How is it showing up in condo living and renovation?
Sustainability is becoming less of a buzzword and more of an essential feature, thankfully. Modern condo developments are increasingly looking for ways to be eco-conscious. For example, using solar panels to power common areas, installing LED lighting throughout, specifying energy-efficient appliances for heating and cooling. These not only save energy but often have better long-term durability and lower your utility bills. We're also seeing more innovative features like green roofs, basically, planting vegetation on rooftops. These help reduce carbon emissions, improve air quality, combat the urban heat island effect, and even help manage rainwater runoff. And within renovations, there's a growing trend towards using sustainable or eco-friendly materials. Think bamboo for flooring or furniture. It's durable, looks great, and grows fast. So when you're renovating, choosing energy-efficient appliances or looking for sustainable material options like reclaimed wood or low VOC paints, these choices can save you money in the long run and align your home with more eco-conscious values. Ultimately, all these trends, smart tech, wellness amenities, work flexibility, sustainability, they really make modern condo living a more holistic and worthwhile investment, blending comfort, convenience, and a forward-thinking approach.
This whole discussion really makes you think about the professionals involved in making these renovation dreams happen. And how do you even find them in the first place? Who are the experts behind the scenes, and how do you connect with the right ones for your project?
Yeah, it's really important to understand the distinct roles because while they often collaborate, their core expertise differs. You have the architect. They typically have a comprehensive 5-year education covering everything from art history and urban planning to construction, design, environmental systems, landscaping, even interior architecture. They're the big picture planners for structural and spatial design. Then there's the interior designer. Their focus is specifically on planning and organizing the indoor spaces, aesthetics, functionality, ergonomics, comfort. But a key distinction, they generally cannot propose changes to the building structure, extensions, demolitions, or major systems like gas, hydraulics, or main electrical frameworks. They work within the existing structural shell. A decorator is even more focused, typically restricted to surface-level choices, furniture selection, paint colors, accessories, without physically altering the space itself. And the engineer brings deep technical knowledge, especially for implementation. They focus on calculations, structural integrity, ensuring complex systems are designed and installed correctly. Beyond these individuals, you also have project management services, often offered by firms. They oversee the entire process, from planning right through to handover, managing time, cost, quality, safety, and navigating regulations.
Okay, so with these different specializations, how do you, as a homeowner, looking to renovate, actually find the right professional? What should you be looking for when you search?
Well, what's interesting here is understanding how architectural or design firms themselves think about finding you. There's this concept called the client demand pyramid. It suggests that the vast majority of potential clients, maybe around 91%, are actually in the gathering information stage. They're researching, learning, but not quite ready to hire right now. So the really smart firms, they focus their marketing efforts on educating this large group, building trust early on, rather than just shouting, "Hire us now," at the small percentage who are ready to sign immediately. And this strategy actually benefits you as the person looking for help.
How so? How does that translate into practical ways you can evaluate them?
Because it means you should look for firms that act as a resource, not just a sales pitch. When you're vetting professionals, look at how they use different strategies. Check out their social media marketing. Is it just pretty pictures, or do they share insights, explain their process, engage thoughtfully with comments? Look at the quality of their portfolio and the detail in their project descriptions. Consider their email marketing. If they offer a newsletter with valuable tips or insights, not just sales spam, it shows they're invested in educating potential clients. Similarly, content marketing. Do they have a blog, videos, maybe even a podcast where they share helpful information about design, renovation, or navigating the process? Firms that consistently provide valuable content are often positioning themselves as experts, which is a good sign.
And what about their general online presence, like their website?
Definitely. Good search engine optimization, SEO, means their website is likely easy to find when you search for relevant terms. And the website itself is professional, informative, easy to navigate. It often reflects how the firm operates. And don't underestimate the architectural proposal itself. When you get to that stage, view it as a form of marketing. The clarity, the detail, the thought put into that proposal tells you a lot about the quality and professionalism you can likely expect throughout the project. It's a critical first impression.
Are there any other telltale signs that might indicate you're dealing with a really top-tier client-focused firm?
Yeah, a few other things. Look for how they differentiate themselves. Some firms talk about their 4 Ps, their unique position in the market, their transparent process, the expertise of their professionals, and their strong portfolio. See if these come across clearly. Things like public speaking gigs or getting their work published in design magazines can signal credibility and recognition within the industry. A consistent newsletter shows commitment to staying engaged. Some firms are also good at nurturing older leads, recognizing maybe it wasn't the right time before, but valuing the long-term relationship. And look for firms embracing new technologies, things like virtual reality, VR walkthroughs, where you can literally experience your renovated space before construction starts. That's impressive. Or using building information modeling, BIM, essentially a smart, data-rich 3D model of your project, helps coordinate everything, catch potential clashes early, and manage the project more efficiently. These tools show a commitment to innovation and client experience. Ultimately, the best firms build trust and demonstrate expertise through their marketing and communication. And those are exactly the qualities you should be looking for as a homeowner embarking on this journey.
Wow, what a comprehensive journey we've taken today. We've really covered the whole spectrum of decoding condo renovation here in the Philippines. From those very first crucial planning steps and figuring out how to navigate the complex rules and legalities, to getting a handle on the significant costs involved, and finally, embracing all those exciting new trends shaping modern condo living. It's definitely a lot to think about, but also incredibly empowering, I think.
Absolutely. And as we often emphasize, knowledge is really most valuable when you understand it and can actually apply it. Being well informed truly is your most powerful tool for pulling off a successful and satisfying condo renovation in the Philippines. It empowers you to transform your space with confidence, with clarity, helping you avoid those common pitfalls and really maximize the value of your investment in your home.
So, as you think about your own condo, maybe your own potential renovation dreams, here's a final thought to mull over. How might integrating some of these evolving condo trends, the smart technology, the sustainable features, the focus on wellness or flexible work, how might incorporating those into your renovation not just transform your physical space, but also subtly shift your daily habits, maybe even your long-term well-being? What aspects of smart, sustainable, or resort-style living resonate most deeply with your personal vision for the future of your home? And how could they shape the way you actually live your life within those walls?